Okay, continuing talking about this, special features on this. Doctor Who. This is the Blu-ray collection for Colin Baker, Season 2. So talking about the special features involving the mysterious planet, which I had talked about previously, and also special features for just in general Doctor Who at this time in the show, and Colin Baker specifically, because he was the Doctor at this time. Okay, so going back to my notes here with Colin Baker quotes. Okay, Colin Baker, here we go. He said, Colin Baker talking about his version of the Doctor. Okay, here is the quote. Colin Baker quote. Okay, he could be intolerant, but he could also be very compassionate. He's a complex being, the Doctor. I would describe as the Lone Ranger. Well, this is kind of funny. He is that masked man who rides into the town, puts everything right, and vanishes again. Yeah. Sometimes at the end of episodes at the end of stories of Doctor Who, I'm thinking specifically of Patrick Troughton, where at the end of the story, everything is resolved, and the Doctor just takes his companions and just leaves, and kind of abruptly, and I think he said he doesn't like goodbyes, and the people that he helped, they turn, and the Doctor and his companions are just gone. So it's kind of funny. He left without saying goodbye. Yeah. So like the Lone Ranger, he is that masked man who rides into the town, puts everything right, and vanishes again. And they all go, "Where's he gone? Oh, what a shame. I liked him." So that's a funny quote from Colin Baker. All right, another quote by Colin Baker. I am inordinately proud that I am part of something which has played such a huge part in television. Consciousness of the British public. I think I used this quote for my Colin Baker short video, which didn't really get very many views compared to the Matt Smith short video and the Christopher Eccleston short video and the Peter Capaldi short video. It's funny how those got a lot of views, but the other 6 that I did in the same day got single digits. Yeah, the Matt Smith one got, I think, over 200, and Eccleston and Capaldi got over 100. The other ones were just single digits. Don't know why. And then with the short videos, I've noticed it seems like when I first put them up, whatever views they get, they're kind of stuck. Like, because a few days later, they don't get any views at all. It's like they're stuck in time with the views. I've noticed when I don't know if this happens with my own videos, but I've noticed when I was going to this one channel called I believe it's called Exploration. And when I've looked at the videos, I've noticed the short videos specifically. After I've watched the short videos on her channel, uh, it doesn't count the views after the view count doesn't go up after I watch the short videos. I refresh it and I exit out of it and I go back in, and the view count is still the same from what it was before I viewed it for some of these short videos. So that's strange. Why would it not count my views? Oh, anyway, back to the Colin Baker quote. Okay. To have played the Doctor if I did nothing else in my career would have been enough. I have nothing but pride and a sense of satisfaction that I did my best for 3 years to carry on the tradition that many before and since done so brilliantly. Alright, and then on disc 3 of the Blu-ray collection for Colin Baker Season 2, there is a making of, oh, it's the continuation. Making of documentary. This is part 3, and here's another Colin Baker quote, which I think was also included in my short video for Colin Baker that only got single-digit views. He says, Colin Baker, "The joy of Doctor Who is it can be anything. It is restricted only by the imagination of the writer and those putting it on the screen." That's a good quote there. Good observation, Colin. Oh, that's all I have for disc 3. Okay, and then disc 4 of the Blu-ray collection for Colin Baker Season 2. There is a special feature titled Saturday Superstore, and on this, Colin Baker is interviewed and takes calls from fans. And then the interviewer takes Colin to a room full of people. Sometimes it's funny. I've seen this special feature. I don't know if it's with the same thing, Saturday Superstore, but I've seen other doctors. They go on special features where some of the other actors, maybe a few, like Peter Davison and Sylvester McCoy. I'm not sure about any others besides Colin Baker, where they go on a show and they have fans call in and they have a telephone there. Well, maybe they don't always have a telephone, an actual telephone, but they're speaking to someone that calls in, a fan, and it's typically a child, and it's sometimes funny what the kids will say to the actor playing the Doctor. Okay, so and then the interviewer takes Colin to a room full of people. Some are dressed as characters from Doctor Who. There are several Time Lords. One of them, but one of them didn't belong. One of these costumed people. One of them didn't belong. So it reminded me of that segment on Sesame Street where they would have, I think, 4 things up on the screen for Sesame Street, and the audience, the children viewing, would have to decide which one of these things. I think they probably, I don't remember if they had a song or it was just a voice saying which one of these things doesn't belong. I don't think it was, there might have been some music up, but I don't think there was singing. So this segment which one of these things doesn't belong, and the audience has to decide out of these four things doesn't belong. There's a few things, so that's what this is, what this reminded me of. But there's a few things that I remember from Sesame Street, a few characters that I remember, like Oscar the Grouch and uh, Big Bird and uh, the Count and Snuffleupagus. Sesame Street. And then I remember there was a segment where it's trying to teach kids a little bit of Spanish, um, where it's there's some, I think there's some animation of a door opening and shutting, uh, and we hear the Spanish. I think it's La puerta está abierta, something like that. Another thing. So that's fond memories of Sesame Street. They just stick in the brain. I wonder how many other people just have these memories of little clips of Sesame Street that are stuck in their brains for their whole lives. And also Mr. Rogers. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Would you be mine? And how he would go to his closet and pick out his clothes. And he'd go to Mr. Rogers. He'd go to the section in his home, and there would be I think a little train that would go by, and uh, what was it, Land of Imagination, and we'd go to a different part of the show. And then there was Mr. McFeely, Speedy Delivery. Mr. Rogers. Tom Hanks played him in a movie. I haven't seen it yet, but it looks interesting. Okay, so back to Doctor Who. So one of these things doesn't belong. That's how I digressed there with the Sesame Street. Okay, so I guess I should go back, rewind a little bit. All right. So in this special feature, Saturday Superstore, Colin Baker is interviewed, and the interviewer, after the interview, takes Colin to a room full of people. Some are dressed in well, some are dressed as characters from Doctor Who. I think there was a Cyberman too, and maybe a couple other things, like a Sea Devil, or yeah, I think so. But there's several Time Lords. Okay, but one of these costume people, they don't belong. What I'm thinking, what are they doing there? Why are they there? I like them, but why are they there? They have nothing to do with Doctor Who. I don't know. Uh, so this costume character that didn't belong was a character from the movie Labyrinth, which I love. I remember this. This is I have fondness for this movie because I saw it when I was really young. I saw it. I saw I was spending the night at a friend's house, and they had rented. I think they had rented a couple movies. Maybe they didn't rent it. Maybe they owned it. But yeah, we watched The Labyrinth, which I really loved, and I think we also watched the movie. It was with the kid from A Christmas Story. So the dirt bike. I think it was called The Dirt Bike Kid. But okay, so there was a character. Strangely, there was a character from the movie Labyrinth, and this is the character that was there along with the Doctor Who characters, costumed people. This guy, the big guy, the big hairy guy. He's also on the front. Yeah, that was a fun movie to watch. Jim Henson, good stuff. Made some good movies. Another of my favorite movies is a Jim Henson movie, The Dark Crystal, which I saw when I was very young in the theater. I love the Dark Crystal. Jim Henson, yes, very, very, very uh, nice contribution to the world. So I just thought it was strange that we see Time Lords. I think there's a Cyberman, and then there's that guy from the Labyrinth. What was he doing there? Okay, and then there's a cake that's shaped like a TARDIS that Colin cuts. Okay,